All right, so this is the video answer key for your study guide for 7113D on coordinate graphing. The first two problems, as you can see, are looking to identify in an ordered pair which is the x-coordinate and which is the y-coordinate. So there's our ordered pair 7, -3. Now, one great way to remember this is to remember the alphabet. The alphabet, A, B, C, D, E, F, G, etc., 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 ends with X, Y, and Z. There is no Z coordinate for our test. So, the X coordinate is the first coordinate that shows up in the ordered pair 7. The Y coordinate is the second coordinate in the ordered pair -3. As we look at the next one, there's our ordered pair, -1/3, 4. Again, X is our first coordinate in the ordered pair. Y is the second. So our X coordinate will be -1/3. The Y coordinate will be 4. Congratulations. For problem number 2 on our study guide for 7113D on coordinate graphing, we have a coordinate grid system with a number of different shapes on it. Those shapes are going to represent the points on the coordinate graph, and as the directions say, we are going to write an ordered pair for the following points. So again, the points are going to be represented by the shapes. The first one that we're going to solve is the red star. Now, starting at the origin, right at the center there, I notice that I have to move along the x-axis all the way down to -7. So, in my ordered pair, my first coordinate is going to be -7. Now, I move up from the x-axis all the way to the star, which is going to be my point, and it looks like I go all the way up to +7. So my ordered pair for the star would be 7, 7. The next the next point or shape is the purple diamond. Purple diamond is all the way over here in quadrant 1. So from the origin, I'm going to go all the way along the x to 9, and from 9, I'm going to go all the way up to a +9 there. So my ordered pair is 9, 9. The next shape is the heart. From the origin, I'm going to go along the x-axis all the way to a +5. Then I'm going to go down into quadrant 4. So my first ordered pair will be, my first coordinate will be a +5. And because I had to go below the x, I'm going to go down to a -8 for my y coordinate. The next one, the lightning bolt. The lightning bolt is in the same quadrant, quadrant 4. So starting at the origin, I'm going to go all the way over to a +4 for my x coordinate, and then down to a -3. The next one, we've got a blue cloud. I hope it's a cloud. It could be a ball of lint too, I suppose. So starting at the origin, we're going to go over to +3 on the x-axis. So our x-coordinate will be 3. Then we go up to 4 on the y-axis. So 4 will be our second coordinate there. The smiley face, yay, very happy. So along the x-axis, we're going to go from the origin all the way over to -9. And then from -9, we're going to go all the way down to -4. So that's over in quadrant 3. The next one looks like an emerald from my Minecraft experience. That's got to be an emerald. Starting at the origin, we're going to go along the x-axis to -4. Then from the x-axis, I'm going to go down into quadrant 3, all the way down to -8. And there's my ordered pair for the emerald. The next one looks like it's a sun. Now the sun has sort of been covered up by some of my other lines, but it's actually right there on my graph. So from the origin, I'm going to go along the x-axis 1, 2, 3, 4 to -4 on the x-axis. Now, because I'm still on the x-axis, I don't go up or down. I don't go vertically either to the positive or the negative, which means my y-coordinate is going to be 0. And the last point is the moon, the blue moon. So from the origin, I don't go left or right along the x-axis, so my ordered pair is going to be, for my x-coordinate is going to be a 0. And then on the y-axis, from the origin, I go all the way down to -8. So my y-coordinate has to be a -8. And there you have it. All right, next problem on the study guide is our level 3 question. You are going to need to be able to plot points on the coordinate grid that are going to include positive numbers, negative numbers, and rational numbers. The first point we're going to plot is point A. Now I want you to notice on the coordinate grid that's been provided for you, we are working with intervals of 1, so each of those grid lines is going to represent one whole. So point A, we're going to start at the origin. We're going to travel along the x-axis to +6. So starting at the origin, again, right at the middle, right at the center, I'm going to travel 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6 along the x-axis. Now the y-coordinate is a -1. That's going to bring me down, and I'm going to make a nice solid point right at 6, -1, and I'm going to label it with an A. Next one, point B, I see that they're both negative. So again, going back to the origin, I'm going to travel to -2 on the number line. -2 on the number line. And then I need to go to -2 on the y-axis as well. So I'm going to go down 2 from there and make another big point. That's going to be point B. Point C, oh boy, here's my rational numbers. So because I'm counting by ones on the x-axis and the y-axis, and my x-coordinate here is a -1/2, I know that is half of 1. So along the x-axis, I'm going to start at the origin, and I'm going to end up halfway along the x-axis to -1/2. The y-coordinate is a -3, so that's going to bring me vertically down to a -3. Notice I'm staying halfway between 0 and -1 the whole time. Once I get to -3, I'm going to make a point, and I'm going to label that point C. Point D, I've got a -1, 0. With a 0 in there, I know I'm going to be on the axis somewhere, but which one? Let's find out. Starting at the origin, we're going to go to -1 on the x-axis. That's going to bring me to -1 right there. Now 0 in the y tells me that I do not move vertically, which means I'm going to make my point right on the x-axis, and that is point D. The next one, point E, -2, 3.5. I'm spending a lot of time on the negative side, boy. So from the origin, I'm going to go along the x-axis to a -2. So I'm going to go 1, 2. I'm going to switch colors here, actually. I'm going to go make this one blue. Okay, so again, starting at the origin, I'm going to go over to -2. The y quadrant here is 3.5 or 3.5. Now, because it's positive, that's going to take me vertically. So I'm going to go, let's see, 1, 2, 3, and halfway between the 3 and the 4, and that's where I'm going to make my point right there. That's going to be point E. Point F, let's see here, 1/4. All right, so 1/4 is 1/4 the way from 0 to 1, so it's not half, it's actually half of a half. So using my red, starting at the origin, I'm going to go just over a little bit to about 1/4. The y coordinate is a 4. That's going to take me to a +4. So 1, 2, 3, 4. Notice my line is staying very close to the y-axis, but about 1/4 of the way over to the 1. When I make my point there, that is point F, and I have plotted those 6 points. All right, for your level 4 question, you are going to be given an ordered pair, and you are expected to write complete sentences and give a detailed explanation of how to plot that point on the coordinate grid. Underneath this red rectangle, I'm going to unveil for you what could be what your response might look like. As I pull the red rectangle down, I will read it aloud, and the words that are selected here are underlined in my response. The origin is the very center of the coordinate plane or coordinate grid system, where the x-axis and y-axis meet or intersect. You always start at the origin when you plot points. I am going to use an interval of 1, which means I will be counting by ones away from the origin. In an ordered pair, the first number is the x-coordinate, and this number tells you how far to move along the x-axis, which is the axis that goes left to right or side to side. To the left are the negative values, and to the right are the positive values. Move from the origin to the x-coordinate first, then move vertically to the y-coordinate, which is the second number in the ordered pair. The positive numbers go up and the negative numbers go down. When you arrive at the y-coordinate, make a large dot to plot the point. Now, your answer might not look exactly like that, but that is an example of a level 4 response.